Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're gonna jump right in. So today, y'all, I will be teaching you guys about hair service prep. You can use the book of your choice, but for me, I'm a My Lady girl. I just feel like theirs is, pretty much the best. And if I were you, I recommend you studying and reading your book first before you come in here, because this is just a review or summary of everything that's in this chapter. So if you have the book, you could use chapter 10 to help you. And like I said earlier, I recommend they do a really good job of breaking down everything for you, giving you good visuals and everything. So I'm just going to jump right in. Okay. So don't mind me if I'm looking, I have my little notes over here just so I can talk. I also put some things up here, some visuals for you guys just in case. Okay. So for today, like I said, we're going to talk about hair service prep. I try to make this as quick and easy and painless as possible. Okay. So, first things first, you need to know the basics. You need to know that you have a pre service procedure, you have a service procedure, and then you have a post service procedure. So, basically, what that means is before, during, after. That's it. So, if you are an organized person, I recommend you, like I've stated in my last video, having some type of online booking service and then offer a client consultation because, especially if it's a new client, you really need to get to know your client and their history. If it is a returning client, I still recommend doing a little mini consultation right before the service just to make sure that you two are on the same page. So, pre-service is the consultation. So you want to basically ask your client questions about what they've done previously, what their goals are, and this is the time you'd have them fill out any forms to protect yourself as well, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so just make sure that you have that type of stuff in motion. Okay, and then you have your scalp analysis. So after you do all of that, you're going to go in and you're going to check in your client's scalp and make sure that you don't see any abrasions, any cuts, any bruises, any markings, any moles, anything that could possibly be an issue while you're doing hair. Now, you can work over moles, just be very careful. But abrasions, you definitely want to put a pin in it and maybe come back, especially with a chemical service. No open wounds, things of that nature. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you drape your client depending on the type of service that they're receiving, depends on how you drape it. So, your shampoo drape. Make sure that you're using the proper capes as well. So if you're not new, if you're new to this, you can go to the beauty supply and you can go and literally see the different types of capes that they have. They have shampoo, cutting, chemical. I recommend an all-purpose cape for me, but for a personal state board, I say make sure you have the exact one if you know what I'm saying. So you have your shampoo draping, you have your cutting and styling draping, and then you have your chemical. So for shampoo, towel, then a cape. For cutting, neck strip, and a cape. And for chemical, towel, then a cape, and then another towel. Okay, so those are your three styles of draping. So once again, it's towel cape for shampoo, it's neck strip cape for cutting, and there is towel cape towel for chemical services. Okay, so make sure that you're draping your client. So then we're going to jump into brushing and things of that nature. So if you have a client with straight hair, brush away. Like brush away. Start from the bottom and work your way up. Well, the I don't want to say trouble, but the difficulty comes in when you have clients with different textures of hair. Wavy, you could brush as well, probably start at the ends and work your way up. But when you have someone who has more of my texture, a more curly, I'm a 3C4A type of girl, you want to make sure that you're using the proper brushes. So I recommend you taking time to learn the difference in detangling brushes because you would not go in with just a random brush and start brushing your client's hair. So make sure that you're using the proper brushes. If I recommend a Denman brush, they have Tangle Teasers. They have what is that one I like? I can't remember, but I will try to remember to post pictures up here somewhere to kind of give you an idea of the types of brushes that work for more curlier textures of hair. Also, like I said, make sure that you're going from ends to roots because you don't want to cause breakage or damage on your clients. Personally, for me, also you want to make sure that your client's hair is either dry or damp, depending on what works best for your client. So as you get into hair, the longer you've been doing it, you know what works for your clients. Okay. The next thing is massaging. Okay. Your clients, when you go sit them at the shampoo bowl and you give them a shampoo, no one wants a 1-2. Okay. Give your client a really good scalp massage. with pressure, you want to ask your clients, you don't want to ever apply too much pressure, but you want to make sure your client is comfortable. So make sure that they're like, too much, then ease off the pressure. Then you also want to be careful with your diabetics and people who may have any type of condition or anything. So please make sure that you're not giving too much pressure, but also don't be so light that your client doesn't really get a good cleanse. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're manipulating the scalp. Get that blood flow going. You want to circulate and you want to create a calm environment for your client. Me personally, be quiet. You don't have to do that, but unless they're talking to you, I try to give them some silence. I actually offer a steam service that's optional, but for state board purposes, you don't need that. But for personal use, I would recommend a steam. Just I do it for all of my clients, no extra charge because it creates that environment, it gets that blood flowing. Yeah, but don't get me going. All right, so after you shampoo your client or while you're shampooing, you have your different types of massaging. You have effleurage, petrissage. So effleurage, you're going to use those circular motions, okay? Kind of like that. And then you have petrissage, you're going to kind of use your fingers and kind of knead through, okay? So just make sure you're not scratching your clients. I know in some settings we use our nails if our clients want that, but state board purposes, that's not okay. So don't use nails or scratch your scalp. But if you're on your own time, hey, what you do on your own time is on you. Okay. You just want to make sure that you are creating, like I said, that calm environment. If you offer a scalp treatment, some scalp treatments require your client to put a bag on their head and go in the dryer. Some you can leave them in the open air, and that's another reason why I like to use the steam, because with the steam, I kind of get those treatments in, and then I don't have to necessarily move my client unless it's one that specifically says cover with a cap and then place under a dryer. So you want to make sure that you're doing those types of things. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to your client's scalp and what they need. If they have an oily scalp, use products for oily scalp. If they have a dry scalp, use products for dry scalp. You want to pay attention to their scalp. You also want to pay attention to the texture of their hair as well and the health of their hair. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But make sure that if your client has dandruff and it's not a medical condition, so it's like your typical dandruff, not something that's extreme, because if it is extreme, send them to the dermatologist. If it's not extreme, then you can go ahead and proceed with a anti-dandruff shampoo, some type of tar shampoo, antifungal shampoo, whatever that is that you may use, okay, or that you prefer. The next thing I would like to say is the types of shampoo. Okay, so let's dig right into that. So your shampoos have a thing that is surfactants. Okay, so pretty much the best way I can explain shampoo to you is dish soap. If you have a pan and it is full of oil because you were frying something, you can't just rinse water and then expect the oil to go away. You need some type of soap to break those bonds so that they basically grab onto the oil. So when you rinse the oil, at that point it washes everything away. So if you've seen those Dawn commercials where they have the little birdies and they're covered in oil, they use that Dawn to break that oil up, and then the soap holds onto that oil. So when you rinse the little ducks and animals away, or fish, whatever it is, um, that did not sound right. Anyways, when you rinse the stuff off of the animals, you see it go away with the soap. Okay. So the key word is, which is the second most ingredient, the second most important ingredient would be your primary surfactant. So they're just basically cleansers. Okay. And they help you cleanse everything. You, if you want to get into the technical word, the word is hydrophilic head, and that attaches it attracts the water, and then the lipophilic tail attracts the oil. I will also insert a picture somewhere once again so you can kind of get an idea of what it is. When you're doing shampoo and stuff, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the types of shampoo, the labels. You want to make sure that your shampoo has a good pH balance as well. That can affect your client's scalp as well as their hair. So I will put, there you go, the little scale right up here so you can see 0 through 14. So 0 through 6 is acidic, 7 is neutral, and then 8 to 14 is your acid base. Okay. So if you have a shampoo that is acidic, which means it's 0 to 6.9, and then you have one that's, or you can have one that is alkaline, which will be 7.1 and higher. So the more alkaline a shampoo is, the harsher it is. And then a high pH can leave your hair dry. brittle, and porous. Okay. If it's high pH, you also can cause fading with your color. And then if you have an acidic one, it's closer to your hair because your hair's natural pH is around 4. So acidic is pretty much preferred. Also, let's talk about water because depending on where you live depends on the water. So I recommend, me personally, if especially if you don't know what type of water you have, they have shampoo heads or shampoo what's the word I'm talking about? The the nozzles, the spray nozzles that have built-in filters that filter the water because you have soft water and you have hard water. So when you have that hard water, you have all the minerals in there. Sometimes they can damage the skin and the hair. And I recommend the filter just for chemical purposes as well. Some of our water is not treated as well in different areas, and that will kind of help soften the water as well as clean out some of that dirt and gunk in there. So if you buy you can buy a kit and it has like, it will tell you if your water is hard or soft if you want. If you don't want to, then like I say, you can purchase the filter to kind of make sure that the hair or the water is not harming your hair, your client's hair, or their scalp. Okay. Now let's talk about the different types of hair because we need to know what type of shampoo to use. So we have color treated shampoo, we have dandruff shampoo, we have clarifying shampoo. It's so many. So I'm just going to start with clarifying. Okay, let's just get to clarifying. Okay, actually, I take that back. We're going to go with balancing shampoo. We're going to do balancing first. So when we have balancing shampoo or neutralizing shampoo, you may hear it as either one. That helps get rid of the oiliness and it prevents your hair from drying out. Also, if you're ever doing some type of chemical service, you can use these types of shampoo to bring the hair back to the proper pH. So when we do like a relaxer or a perm service, and remember those are two different things. Relaxers straighten the hair, perms curl the hair. When you're doing those types of services afterwards, you would use some type of neutralizing shampoo to bring the hair's balance back. The next type you have is clarifying. Clarifying shampoo is a must in your salon setting because you have clients that come in with excessive buildup. And what clarifying does is it strips everything away. And I mean everything. I don't recommend clarifying shampoo on the regular. That's something you use when needed. So if you have a client with excessive buildup, I mean excessive, then go ahead and use that clarifying. Or if you have someone who doesn't come in often and they're kind of gunky, get that clarifying. It's considered an alkaline shampoo. It has a pH of 7 or higher, so like 7.1 or higher, which means that it does dry out the hair. It does strip the hair. So afterwards, you would definitely need to use some other product to bring that hair back down to the correct pH and balance it back out. Your next shampoo will be color enhancing shampoo. I'm sure you've seen the purples, the blues, the reds. So those shampoos could be used to help kind of tone out your colors or to just make sure that the color does not leave your hair. Especially with reds, they fade easily. So you'll see those types of shampoos that keep that color from fading out so much. You also have conditioning shampoo, which basically is what it is. It's softer, it's creamier. They usually look a little bit creamier and they don't strip your hair as much. They're very gentle on the hair and they leave the hair typically pretty soft. So you want to make sure that you use those. I prefer that type of shampoo after I've clarified to just kind of bring my client's hair back to what it needs to be. Dry shampoo, it's for my oily girls. Let's say your hair is getting oily, you don't have time to get in water. Just get that dry shampoo, part the hair, just a little bit. You can kind of brush the hair through, and what it does is it absorbs some of the oil, and you kind of brush that away. And it's not a everyday thing, but you can use it in between your shampoos. It kind of leaves a white cast if you overspray or if you do it too often. So you want to make sure that you're not doing this all the time. You also have medicated shampoos, which were prescribed by a physician, a dermatologist. You may see those with clients who have scalp conditions. You also may have oil shampoo. Those, I don't really see them as much as I used to, but they're really good for people with dry, brittle hair. And then you have pH balance shampoo, which basically brings your pH back to around 4.5 to 5.5. They are recommended for color treated or lightened hair, which means chemically bleached or anything like that. If you have hair pieces or wigs, they need to be shampooed too. Okay, so I don't know why people say don't, but you definitely should be shampooing your wigs, extensions, weaves, things of that nature, because it's just really a good hygiene practice. You're making sure that you're cleansing them. They have special shampoos for your wigs and weaves and all of those things, but if you have a human hair, 100% human, I personally use the same shampoo I would use on a real head of hair. So if I have a curly wig and I know it needs some type of detangling shampoo, then that's what I will proceed with. Color treated, that's what I will proceed with. You also have shampoos that have keratin in them. They rebuild your hair. They're usually in form of a system, so they won't be just by themselves, but they would put that keratin back into your hair and rebuild your hair up. You also have your thinning hair shampoos. Nioxin is a really good brand that I used to know of back in the day. I'm not really sure if they're still around, but they really help. They have special things in there to try to help with your hair or keep your hair from thinning. They also give you a little volume. You also have, y'all, this is a long list, but bear with me. You have strengthening shampoo. They are for clients who have brittleness, breakage. You have sulfate shampoo, sulfate free shampoo. I'm so sorry about that. Sulfate free shampoo. They are very gentle, and I actually prefer those with my natural hair. That's me personally. There's less chemicals in it most of the time, so I prefer that. But they're very gentle. So if you need a good deep cleanse, you need to pop in with that clarifying from time to time. Vegan, plant-based, okay? And then yeah, so that's it. Also, y'all, I wanted to let you know at the end of each video, I will put a link in the comment section, and they will have quizzes on there that are geared or specifically designed for this particular topic. So that way you can kind of test yourself and get an idea of the questions that you may or may not get on your state board test. But I pull them from different test banks. Some of them are from other people as well, but they're on quizzes. All you have to do is just create an account, and then you click on the link and you can take the quiz as many times as you need. I recommend you testing yourself till you get about a 90 or above to show good mastery of what we're talking about. Let's talk about disabled clients. You, as a human being, should treat your disabled clients with the same greatness that you treat your non-disabled clients. Accommodate them. It's just really the human being thing to do. They are humans. They deserve to be treated as such, period. So please accommodate them. They have different types of neck adjustments for them while they're getting shampoos. Some of them have chair adjustments. I have clients that have wheelchairs. I can kind of adapt. They have bowls nowadays. I do recommend these bowls. I do tilting bowls. I had one in my last suite. I loved it, especially for my clients with wheelchairs, because I could literally keep them in their chair. They wouldn't have to, get out and maneuver, and they can lean back, and the bowl would kind of just sit wherever it needed to be for their shoulder, and it had an armrest, and it didn't put pressure on them. But keep those things in mind. You want to be able to service all clients because they just deserve it, and that's just that. So make sure you do those types of things to help your clients that are disabled. You want them to be comfortable. Also, educate your clients on what they need to use when they leave. It is really good to let them know, hey, today I use this type of shampoo, I use this type of conditioner. This will work for your hair. That's also a good moneymaker pro tip, because if you sell your clients those same products retail and they go home and use it in between coming to see you, you've just made you some money for that in between, because now, hey, they may not come see you for another month, but at least you made X, Y, and Z getting them these products, and they know that they work because you're using them on their hair here, so they know that they're good quality products. So that's just a little tidbit. You don't have to do that, but I'm just letting you know. So let's jump into my favorite thing. I'm a curly girl, so conditioner is my favorite product, period. That's just that. So let's talk about the different types of conditioners. So conditioners have humectants, and that what that does is that attracts the moisture and keeps that moisture into your hair. So you need conditioner. I hear a lot of people say they don't like to use it, and I'm not going to lie to you. I know several people who don't use it, and they have thick, beautiful hair, but what they also have is a ton of split ends. But we're not going to go there, but y'all know what I'm saying. So let's talk. We have rinse out conditioners, which we all know what they are. We use those all the time. That's the one you squirt in your hair, you comb it through, and you rinse it right back out. Most brands, that is their typical conditioner. That ain't my favorite though. My favorite is a good old leave-in or repair or treatment type of conditioner. I like the mask. I love it. The thicker the conditioner, the better for me. For your clients, you're going to apply that conditioner. You will comb it, like I said, up to your roots. Put a bag on it, sit them under the dryer. You could leave them at the bowl with the steam treatment. They penetrate the hair shaft so much better. They really infuse your hair with more moisture. I definitely recommend deep conditioners, but don't get me started, baby. When I tell y'all that's my favorite, that is my favorite. You can also charge extra and do it as an add-on service. I used to charge extra 10, 15 for a deep conditioner. I quit doing that because I feel like, for me personally, my clients don't like to be nickel and dime. So I include a deep conditioner with all services for no extra charge. But that's just me personally. But my clients are tippers, so it balances out. I'd rather lose a little $10 here and have you come back forever and ever than to keep nickeling and diming you and never see you again. But that's me. That's me. That's me. You do what work for you. You also have oil treatment and oil as conditioner. Okay, so y'all know my old folks back in the day, we used to use those hot oil treatments. That's what they're talking about. Okay, they have oils that you will put on the client's hair. You'll put the bag on, you'll put them under some heat. The fatty acids in those oils, they replace the natural lipids, and then that avoids hair breakage. You also have oils that are combined with conditioner, and that is that's a process that most chemists use. Most of your conditioners have some type of oil in them as well, but we're not going there. These are lightweight though, because you don't want to weigh the hair down. When you do have those hot oil treatments though, you do, depending on your client's hair, you may shampoo it back out. So that's just something you need to know working your client. You have fine hair, you probably want to shampoo it out and then condition it again. If you have somebody with thick, coarse hair, you might want to rinse it out. If they're wearing their hair straight, you don't want to leave that oil in there. You probably want to shampoo it out because you don't want that hair to be stiff, because baby, it's stiff wear. We don't do that, okay? A lot of those oils will have aromatherapy in them. You'll have rosemary, mint, lavender, all these different types of oils, which also help calm your client down too. So that can put them in a good mood. And remember that too much oil can cause your pores to be blocked and have too much buildup. So that could affect your hair. You don't want to really do that. So balance, okay? The other thing is a leave-in conditioner. That's my second fave. So I will deep condition my hair, rinse it out, and then go in with a leave-in. They have spray leave-ins, which are really lightweight. I use those for my silk press clients. Or you have your cream leave-in, which are a little bit thicker, a little bit more creamy. I use those for my clients who want to wear their hair in their more curly state or in a braid out, twist out, different things. So that's a choice you have to make depending on your client's hair. So those don't get rinsed out. There's a thing called co-wash. Co-wash, a lot of curly girls like to use them. Basically, what that means is it's a conditioner form of a shampoo-ish. It's not really shampoo. It doesn't lather or anything. So you'll rinse your hair, you'll apply it, and it literally feels like conditioner. You comb through the hair really good, and you'll rinse it out. Now, for stable purposes, I'm just teaching you what it is. Real life purposes, let me know. I don't personally prefer them. There was a time where I used to co-wash my hair. Don't get me wrong, my hair was never dry, but I would have a ton of buildup. So I just say, if you're going to be a co-wash girly, I would proceed with caution, and I wouldn't let that be the only way I take care of my hair. At some point in time, you need to come through with a shampoo and get that dirt and oil buildup off your hair, because it really just does not clean that way. It's supposed to help you with detangling. It's supposed to help you with things. Some people will use a co-wash as a pre-poo. So what that means is they'll put it on their hair, go through it, comb through it, rinse it out, and then come in with the shampoo. But it's personal preference, but I'm just here to teach you, okay? Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, that part. And you have spray on heat protectors. Always use them, especially if you're using heat. Keep your client's hair from damage. The spray ones are usually a lot lighter, so you'll have more movement, but they typically are a little bit oilier, so less is more. Remember, when your hair is wet, you can use this much of a product, but it will go so far, versus using this much product, because then it'll be too much. You have scalp conditioners. In certain communities, you will hear them known as grease. Okay, baby. I'm not anti-grease, just letting y'all know. I still grease my scalp when I have braids, but just letting you know, you have medicated scalp lotion. I think Sulfa 8 makes that. You have scalp astringent lotion. They're kind of like, the best way I can describe it is like witch hazel, but for your scalp. And FYI, I use witch hazel on my scalp when I have braids too, because I don't like to be itching. I will put this chart in here for you ladies, gentlemen, whoever may be watching my video. And this basically is a chart that kind of gives you an idea of what to use for what types of hair. I'll also make sure that all of these things that I teach in these videos, I link a PowerPoint with you and some little study materials, because the whole purpose is for you to pass your test. I don't want to just leave you blank and dry with nothing. So yeah. And then back to deep conditioning treatments, use it. I just have to go back, use them, and put them under heat so you can get the best. Another pro tip I will say is, after you're done deep conditioning and you've taken your client from under the heat, let the hair cool and then rinse the hair with cool water. Now, warn your client, because they're going to be upset. Probably it's going to catch them off guard. But when I tell you, that's for another video though. If y'all want to see my hair growth journey, okay? When I tell you, game changer, game changer, okay? And ladies and gents, that's all. So like I stated earlier, I will leave everything below. I have some quizzes, some practices. I am trying to get better at releasing these videos quicker, but y'all, your girl has a job, okay? So I can't just do this all day, every day. Like I stated before, if you don't have a My Lady book, I recommend you purchasing the books, or at least a digital copy. I know it can be expensive, but they have some of the better books, just hands down. And like I said, this comes from their chapter 3, which is called Hair Services, I believe. Am I right? No, I lied. I lied. This is chapter 10, which is Hair Service Preparation. So, yes, that's all, folks. And I will see y'all on my next one. Make sure that you leave me some things below. If you need me to add anything extra, you need me to clarify, this is the time. Blow them comments up and thumbs up this video so you can help me make more. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.